Alright guys, we are back in the game here, and I have a new mod installed called True First Person Camera, or TFP for short. If you look around the game, you'll notice a couple of things.
Good afternoon, sir.
For instance, this guy's got a nice little shadow, but I don't have a shadow in first person. When I have my weapons and shield out, I still don't have a shadow, which is a bit strange. And when I look down, I don't have legs, which is also very strange. Now when I go to third person, you'll notice I suddenly do have a shadow, which is pretty good, I suppose. If I go out a little bit more, yep, okay, and it's gone. But with the power of modding in this mod, True First Person Camera, I have a key that will put me into the true first person. And as you can see, I now kind of have a shadow. I don't have a head. Now the reason I don't have a head is because weird things happen when I do. But yeah, I now properly have legs. I have a full body. You can see my armor and whatnot. And you can see I have a real shadow now. It's actually showing up when I'm out and about doing stuff. Minus my head, of course.
Good afternoon, sir.
Now it is a bit clunky at the moment. It's a bit strange. But I think in the future it's going to smooth itself out. I think there's going to be some updates for this that are going to be pretty nice. Now, there are some very strange things that come up with this. But there's some nice things that come up with this as well. Like riding a horse in first person. RIP, the teaser that showed we could do this. Anyone that was dying to have a bit of first-person horse movements, you now have that with this mod, which is freaking fantastic. And you've got nice little animations getting on and off the horse without throwing you into a really weird third person, back into first person, and all that stuff. So it's very nice, but I promised clunky. So let's look at a couple of the things that are a bit strange. I don't have a head. That's a bit strange. I just transitioned to the further out third person view, and you'll notice also that compared to the normal first-person view that you get in the game, the shield and the sword are a bit different placed, which is kind of strange. But if I click one more time to go into actual first-person, I am very, very zoomed back in. I still don't have legs, and I still have no shadows. Okay, and if I go back to third person, you'll notice suddenly I have a head, which is, that's a great thing, except for the eyeballs that are popping in as I'm going about, and when I sprint it gets a little bit stranger. If I zoom out some more and I look down to see my legs, I've got eyeballs. That's very strange, a bit concerning, but the mod author has warned of such behaviors. If I toggle the key and put it back on though, it seems to resolve itself just fine. So if you do run into that situation, just remember to hit the toggle key. I think by default, the toggle key is the +/equal key. It's not the plus key by the keyboard for the numbers. It's the plus equals next to the backspace key on keyboards. But you can also configure it to change to a different key. Personally, I've set it up to the P key because I don't have anything set to that, so I'm just going to go ahead and use that, which is nice. And you can see as I transition back into the third person, got my shield out, I got my sword. It's working. It's a little clunky right now, guys, but I think this is one of those mods that is going to get better with time. And it is so refreshing to be able to see your own feet and to be able to ride a horse properly. As the dev team at Bethesda advertised. But yeah, this is amazing, and just want to reiterate, guys, this is me climbing onto a horse, and this is me riding a horse in first person. This is a very clever mod, a very clever mod author, and I love it. This is definitely something I'm going to have on all the time, and the fact that I can toggle it on and off with the press of a key and get my third person back is phenomenal. That is great. It basically enables or disables this mod and allows you to keep third person if you want it, as well as the original first person. And if I'm in first person and I ride the horse, and then I hit the P key, as you can see, I'm in first person right away. So you could keep the original first person and all that if you find this a bit too clunky for your taste, which could be for the short term, but I feel like there's going to be some great updates in the future. Very hopeful about this mod, and you can just toggle it on specifically for riding a horse. That's definitely possible. So, I mean, I think this mod is amazing. This is on my load order forever, guys. Alright, with that demo out of the way, let's go ahead and get to installation. Alright guys, we are on the True First Person Camera mod page on Nexus Mods. As always, I'm going to leave a link in the description down below so you guys can follow along with everything that I'm doing. And don't forget, if you like the mod, please endorse it. That is basically the like button for Nexus Mods and gets these mods trending for more people to see. Okay, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into installation. There is manual instructions in the description, but I'm not going to go into that right now. I'm going to stick with Vortex as always because I think that is the best way to manage your mods. Okay, so we're going to go here to Mod Manager Download. And just one thing to note when we are getting this installed, it is going to require UE4SS for Oblivion Remastered. Fortunately, I've already made a video covering how to get this installed manually. I will leave a link to that in the description down below. If you don't have UE4SS for Oblivion Remastered installed already, this mod's not going to work. So please take the time right now, go ahead and get that all installed, follow the instructions in my video, and when you're done with that, we will get back here into installation. Going once, going twice. Alright, we're moving on. So we're going to go to download, and I'm just going to go ahead and do the slow download option. And then if we look over here in Vortex, ta-da, we have TFP, True First Person Camera, installed and ready to go. And that is it for installation. It's definitely installed right now, but I do want to go over a couple of different things about this mod. Mainly, the thing that I want to go over is the configuration. So in the base version of this mod, the plus and equal sign key on your keyboard next to your backspace is the thing that's going to enable or disable this mod. If you have this installed and you don't hit that key, you will never see this mod in action. Now, some people are not going to like the plus/equal key being the one that's kind of controlling whether or not this toggles on, and maybe you have a key that you would rather hit. So we're going to walk through how to configure that right now. So over here on the right, there's this remove trash can icon, and then there's an arrow pointing down. We're just going to go to the arrow pointing down and open in File Manager. And that is going to take us to the TFP camera mod that was downloaded by Vortex. Vortex stashes all of its mods in a specific folder, but we're just going to go follow that link and just pop this up real quick. We're going to go into Mods, TFP Camera, and the Scripts folder. And you can see we have a main.lua file here. We're going to try to open this thing in Notepad. And it doesn't matter at all what kind of text editor you use. I'm just using Notepad for this example here. And as you can see, there's this large bit of stuff here, including a lot of scripting, a lot of coding near the bottom. We are not going to mess with any of that right now. We are mainly focused on this part right here. So as you can see, we have a lot of options, but as I mentioned, we're just going to mess with the toggle key for now. If you guys want to mess around with this a bit more, feel absolutely free to do so. This is whether or not it hides the head, helmet, and hair when you're in that immersive first person. I highly recommend the head at least being gone, and probably the helmet as well. I didn't do a lot of testing with the helmet visible, so mileage may vary. The camera may be inside the helmet, which might, of course, cause a couple of strange things to happen, especially if you got a really cool helmet that covers your face. Of course, that might be a bit more immersive, so to each their own. But what we are going to do here is we're just going to change this key.oem plus. This OEM plus is the plus key. We're just going to change this part right here to the capital letter of anything on the keyboard is generally what works. You can also do like F12. You got a couple of examples here of different key values you can put there, but I'm just going to put P for this because I don't have P assigned to anything else. And then we're going to save the file. Now, I normally just hit Control S, which saves whatever file I'm messing with, but I just figured I'd go through that now. Let you guys know that I saved it. And when that is done, every time that I make changes to configurations, I just disable the mod and then re-enable it to make sure that Vortex compiles everything correctly. That just ensures that all the changes I made to the mod are in effect. And that is all I've got for you guys now. Hopefully that was pretty easy to follow along and you guys found a new mod that you love. Hopefully this is going to release its version 1 pretty soon and it'll be a bit less clunky. But I think in order for that to happen, we need to show this mod author some love and do some endorsements and make this mod a bit trending. Get him hyped up a bit and motivated. All right, guys, with that all out of the way, Happy modding and happy Mondays. Alright guys, we are back in the game, and real quick I just want to go over, this is a cave, and this is our torch. Now some of you might notice that this torch is right in the middle of the damn screen. That's a problem. You also might notice that the torch isn't quite that bright. Well, I have a mod for each of those problems. We're going to dive into one of them right now. Alright guys, so we have the torch position fix installed currently, and this is the default torch position fix version of that mod. It has 4 versions, and it just moves the torch out of your damn way. I love it. Say less. Let's get into the different versions of the mod real quick. Alright, so we have the alternate torch position fix version of the mod installed now. Alright, let's get to the next one. Alright, we have the alternate higher torch position fix version of the mod here. And as you can see, our hand is visible and holding it up nice and high. Let's get to the next version. Alright, the last version of the mod, alternate much higher torch position fix, is right here. And as you can see, our hand is visible, and personally I think it's at a bit of a strange angle, but the fire itself isn't even on the screen anymore, and is way up and out of the way. This is a phenomenal, great mod, the torch position fix mod. Okay, with all of these 4 different versions demoed, and hopefully you guys were able to decide from what I've just shown you which one is right for you, we're going to go into installation. Alright guys, we are on the torch position fix mod page in Nexus Mods. As always, I'm going to leave a link in the description down below so you guys can follow along with everything that I'm doing. If you like the mod, please don't forget to endorse it. That's basically the like button of Nexus Mods. Gets these mods trending and gets more eyes on them. Alright. With all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the actual installation. So if you see here on this page, we've got an installation guide for manual installation. I am not going over that whatsoever. I'm going to stick with good old Vortex. So I would recommend only installing the one version of this mod that you're actually planning on using. You can rewind the video and look over a bunch of the different versions and what they look like, and then pick the one that's right for you. If you are wanting to test them out yourself and play around, and I know with different field of vision it can change a bit of this for you, you might want to just download them all. That's what we're going to do right now. We're just going to do the Mod Manager download button and the slow downloads. Alright, so this is the torch position fix, downloaded and enabled, and ready to go. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. We can download the alternate versions as well. And real quick, I just want to go over my only gripe about this mod at all. And it's a very rare gripe. I'd say not every mod runs into this type of thing. But if you see here in the files, you can see how they're all named. So the torch position fix default is right here, and then we have an alternate torch position fix and alternate. So what that ends up doing is over here in Vortex, you see we have the torch position fix right here, And since I've downloaded all 3 of the other ones, they are all also enabled, which is why we have unresolved file conflicts. That's because we have multiple mods trying to touch the same thing. We really only need one installed. But where are they? Well, if we type in torch, you can see the alternate torch versions are all way up here because they start with alternate instead of torch position fix. I would love for these to be renamed torch position fix dash alternate and torch position fix dash alternate higher and alternate much higher. That would be fantastic. They would all 4 be in the same location, but I understand that's probably not going to happen. And to double up on all that, you're only going to need one of these installed ever anyways. You're not going to need all of them. So I'm only going to have the regular torch position fix installed, I think. And I'm going to go ahead and just remove the others because I know I'm not going to use them. So that's my recommendation, is you can definitely have all of them installed. Just make sure only one of them is enabled at a time. Do your testing, and then I'd even just get rid of the ones that you're not going to use. And that is all I've got for you guys. Hopefully that was pretty easy to follow along with. If you got stuck anywhere or if you ran into any issues with this mod and you can't get it to work for whatever reason, let me know in the comments down below and hopefully I'll be able to get back to you pretty quickly. I've been fairly on top of comments lately. But with all that out of the way, guys, happy Monday and happy modding. Alright guys, we are back in the game, and real quick I just want to go over, this is a cave, and this is our torch. Now some of you might notice that this torch is right in the middle of the damn screen. That's a problem. You also might notice that the torch isn't quite that bright. Well, I have a mod for each of those problems. We're going to dive into one of them right now. Alright guys, currently we have the mod Brighter Torches installed, which comes in 2 different versions, and I just want to note this is the 1.5 times version. And real quick, we are going to go ahead and compare it to the ×2 version right now. Alright, this is the ×2 brightness version of Brighter Torches. And as you can see, we can see much further in with some light. It's nice and bright, and I kind of love it. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see the difference between the 2 of those and make a judgment call if either one is right for you. With the demos out of the way, let's go ahead and get into installation. Alright guys, we are on the Brighter Torches mod page on Nexus Mods. As always, I'm going to leave a link in the description down below so you guys can follow along with everything that I'm doing. If you like the mod, please don't forget to endorse the mod. That's basically the like button of Nexus Mods and gets these mods trending and in the eyes of more people. Alright, with those things out of the way, let's dig into installation. So you can see lots of things going on here, but we have a manual installation here. I'm very happy about this first line and a lot less happy about these others. But we're not going to get into the manual installation. I'm going to stick with the Vortex downloads as I usually do. And I think there's not really a point in me showing you guys both installations. you're really only going to need one enabled at a time. So based off the demo you saw a little bit ago, you can kind of tell which version of this you want. I think I'm going to stick with the ×2 version. I think it's pretty nice to have that light source the way that it is and being able to see as far out as possible. But maybe you prefer the 1.5 times version instead. Totally your call. But for me, this Brighter Torches 2 times is just perfect for me. And as you can see, I've already got it downloaded and enabled. And that is it, guys. It is a very straightforward and very easy mod to get installed. If you have any questions about this or having any troubles getting this to work for one reason or another, please let me know in the comments down below. I don't expect too much trouble with this. With all that out of the way, guys, as always, happy modding and happy Mondays. Have you guys ever found yourself in the middle of a dungeon, taking out your enemies, and then really looking forward to dragging their body away so that their buddies can't find them? And have you ever noticed you're kind of weak? It's kind of hard to drag these bodies away. Look at that. And it takes forever. That seems to be a problem. It's too bad my character has no strength. Absolutely none. I'm super weak. Well, there is actually a mod for that. Popeye would be proud. This mod's name is Anchor Arms. And we're going to dive into it right now. Alright, so here we are back with the Anchor Arms mod installed. And as you can see, this is much easier. Much better. Look at that, I could drag this body all the way over here. Which makes a lot of sense, actually. This mod is absolutely fantastic. You're going to have to fight me to uninstall this thing. This mod is great. I'm going to have it on forever and ever. Amen. Alright, guys. With the demo, superb demo, I might add, all the way wrapped up, let's go ahead and get into a really easy installation. Alright guys, we are on the Anchor Arms Stronger Grab Force mod page on Nexus Mods. As always, I'm going to leave a link in the description down below so you guys can follow along with everything that I'm doing. And also, don't forget to endorse the mod if you like it. This is basically the like button for Nexus Mods. Lets the mod author know that you liked it, and also possibly gets this mod trending and available on the front page of Nexus Mods. Gets more eyeballs on it. Alright, with that out of the way, let's get into installation. And the first thing we should talk about is requirements. This mod is going to require UE4SS for Oblivion Remastered. You guys are probably tired of me saying this by now, but you will need UE4SS for Oblivion Remastered for this mod, and a lot of mods. If you don't already have this installed, I conveniently have a video covering the manual installation. It is going to be linked in the description down below, so you guys can go ahead and pause the video right now, download that sucker, and we will see you back when you're done. Alright, I'm assuming you're done now. So let's take a look down here. You can see there is manual install instructions right here. Looks like UE4SS, and then drop this folder into the mods folder of UE4SS. That seems pretty straightforward, but we're not going to do that. we are going to have Vortex automatically handle all of that heavy lifting for us in a mod about heavy lifting. Okay, so we only have the one version here. He's got the older files here on display, but we don't really care. We're only going to get this latest version. Let's go ahead and go to the Mod Manager download. It is going to remind us we need UE4SS for Oblivion Remastered in order for this mod to function at all. If you don't have this installed, go do that. Come back here. Now we're going to continue. So we've got the download button here. We're going to do the slow download option. And if we take a peek inside of Oblivion Remastered's Vortex stuff here, there's one thing I would like to note. This mod is called Anchor Arms, Stronger Grab Force. And in Vortex, it is under Stronger Grabbing. So just keep that in mind. If you guys are having trouble finding this mod after you've installed it, you're not going to find it under Anchor Arms. You're going to find it under Stronger Grabbing. Alright, guys, it is downloaded, installed, and enabled. It is ready to go. There's no crazy tweaks that are required. As long as you have UE4SS installed, this mod's going to function perfectly. Hopefully this video is pretty easy to follow along and showcased a brand new mod for a lot of you guys. With all that out of the way, happy Mondays, guys, and happy modding. Alright guys, we are back in the game, and I just want to go over a little bit of the vanilla behavior of this game. Some things you guys might notice that I certainly have as I've been playing. If I walk into this fire, you're going to see my health go down. He walked over that fire, he didn't get anything. Nothing. Full health bar. Look at him. He walked right back into it. Nothing. That is ridiculous. Fire should kill you. And I'm not the only one that thinks so. In fact, that's the mod that I'm covering right now. NPCs catch fire. So let's get into it. Alright, so we are back and we have the NPCs catch fire mod enabled. Currently, this is the version where only my enemies are going to catch fire, not random civilians. But let's test this theory. I run into the fire, I'm on fire. He runs into the fire, and because of the low difficulty that I currently have on Novice, he immediately burned all up. So I guess also keep that in mind that enemies will get absolutely wrecked by this on lower difficulties. And on higher difficulties, you're just going to notice their health go down by a little bit. Alright, so I'm not going to cover the other version of the mod. I'm just going to talk about it right here, right now. There's two versions to this mod. One of them only allows enemies to take damage from fire on the ground. The other version even allows just regular NPCs, guards, and whatnot to also be able to take fire damage from things on the ground that are on fire. I think it's going to be pretty simple to tell exactly what the difference is between those two versions and what ramifications there may be, especially on a lower difficulty such as this, having NPCs die almost instantaneously to fire. It's a pretty fantastic mod, I assure you. At higher difficulties, enemies do not instantly die. This is just because I was on a super easy difficulty. Alright guys, with the demo out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and get into installation. Alright Alright guys, we are on the NPCs Catch Fire mod page on Nexus Mods. As always, I'm going to go ahead and leave a link in the description down below so you guys can follow along with everything that I'm doing. And if you like the mod, please don't forget to endorse it. This is basically the like button of Nexus Mods, lets the mod author know that you like the mod, and also gets the mod trending and possibly showing up on the main page on Nexus. And one additional thing I would like to note, praise for this mod. It is the 87th mod that came out, placing it in one of the first 100 mods that ever came out for Oblivion Remastered on the Nexus Mods website. That right there is amazing. Alright, so let's get into installation. And as you can see, he's got his own video demoing this, which is great. 20 years in the making. Awesome. He has a manual installation guide right here and manually uninstalling it. You can see that this is a port straight from original Oblivion, which is fantastic and probably why it got out so quickly. Let's go ahead and get into the Files tab here. We have the two different versions, and you're going to have to decide for yourself which version you would prefer. My immersion senses are tingling that everyone should be getting equal shares of being able to be caught on fire, but my not wanting all my shopkeepers to die is screaming enemies only. So I'm going to be on a constant uphill battle fighting which one of these I'm going to have installed at any given time. I'm just going to do the enemies only for now. It seems like the slightly safer option, but feel free to choose whichever one you feel more comfortable with. And we're going to go ahead and check it out here. They both install exactly the same, and as you can see, Vortex already has it installed and enabled, and it is good to go. Absolutely, that is all there is. Pretty quick, pretty easy, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. If you have any troubles with this mod or any questions or anything, please leave a comment down below. I will do my best to reply to comments. I've been pretty on top of that for the last couple of months, I'd say. And with all of that out of the way, guys, as always, happy Mondays and happy modding. Have you guys ever been playing Oblivion and running into a couple of bandits when you notice something strange? Like how this bandit right here,
This ends here.
this bandit right here, have some really good equipment on. Mithril, Elven, Ebony arrows, glass bow, a Daedric dagger, and you're a bandit. And this guy, Elven, and an ebony mace. Let's look at the price tag on that ebony mace. 1,500 gold. Now, I am not an economics major, not at all. But one thing I can say with pretty good certainty is that if you have something costing that much and an apple costs 2 gold pieces, you have a lot of money. And you could probably get a job. Probably don't have to be a bandit. And it kind of breaks the immersion when every bandit is super wealthy, decked out in the best gear, and is still being a bandit. It just seems very strange. And there's a mod for that. And the mod is called Impoverished Bandits. So let's go ahead and get into this. Oh, and, by the way, All of this was done because I'm at level 31, so bandits are popping up with level 31 gear. So let's check this out if we have the mod installed, and I come back here. Alright, we are back. I'm still level 31. Let's check out if these bandits right here are decked out in the best gear of all time. No. I don't see any ebony or glass, or a Daedric dagger.
Whoa!
Show me that Daedric dagger. Still a glass arrow. But that's leather armor, just some regular pants, and a dagger that's steel. Yeah, that makes sense. That is what I would expect from a couple of low-life, basic bandits. So I think that's pretty immersive. I think it makes sense in the world, and I think kind of gives these bandits a little bit more realism to their situation. Alright, I don't know if this mod is going to be for everyone. I think a lot of people really like farming bandits for some good gear, so that is something to consider. But as far as immersion is concerned, this speaks to me quite a bit. This makes so much sense. Alright, let's get into installation, guys. Alright guys, we are here on the Impoverished Bandits lower leveled gear mod page on Nexus Mods. As always, I'm going to leave a link in the description down below so you guys can follow along with everything that I'm doing. And don't forget, if you like the mod, go ahead and endorse it. It's basically the like button of Nexus Mods. It lets the mod author know you like the mod and also gets the mods trending so they have a shot at showing up on the Nexus homepage. And the more eyeballs on these mods, the better. Alright, so let's get into installation here. We'll take a look at the requirements here, and as you can see, there's nothing that this mod requires in order to work, which is nice, but there are 3 different mods that require this mod in order to work, so this is a interesting situation here where it's a nice mod on its own, and it's also required for a couple of different mods. Right, so there's a bit of information here about a lot of different things, but there's also down here manual installation instructions. I am not going to go into the manual installations at all right now. What I am going to do, however, is go into the Vortex download options. That is my preferred way of going about mods. Vortex handles updates and whatnot much better than trying to manually keep track of everything. So let's dive in. In the Files tab here, we have the Impoverished Bandits download option right here. And we also have a couple of optional files, and these appear to be balance patches. Sorry, not balance patches. That's a balance patch. These are different patches to be compatible with other mods. So this right here is a compatibility patch for balanced NPC level cap. So if you have that mod installed, you're also going to want to download this optional file and make sure that it is loaded last in the load order. Same thing is true for this mod, Hooded Outlaws, and the Hooded Outlaws balanced patch. If you have the Hooded Outlaws and the balanced NPCs, this is the version that you want. This includes both of these patches combined into one. If you have all 3 of these mods, Impoverished Bandits, balanced NPC level cap, and Hooded Outlaws, you're going to want this version right here. I currently do not have any of those installed, but I will later. So I'm going to go ahead and download them now and just keep them disabled until I have these mods installed. You can absolutely do that as well. So we're just going to do the mod manager download and do a slow download. Pretty straightforward. And you can see it's right here, Impoverished Bandits, installed and enabled. We're going to come back here. I'm going to get this Hooded Outlaws downloaded. And you can see it's showing up right here, Impoverished Bandits, Hooded Outlaws. Now I think some mods are redundant, unresolved file conflicts. Let's go ahead and take a look. Impoverished Bandits, and then the Impoverished Bandits Hooded Outlaws is messing with it. It's complaining. It doesn't realize, I think, that that is a patch. So let's get the next one downloaded as well. And I'm also going to get the third option downloaded, just to have all of them already here and ready to go for when I have those other mods installed. So since I don't have them installed, my game's going to hard crash when trying to load this because they are relying on things, and there's probably some conflicts between this patch right here and these two. It's probably going to overwrite a lot of the same things. So I'm just going to real quick disable all of those, and my game's going to be able to run just fine with just the Impoverished Bandits. And later, if I ever install Hooded Outlaws or the Balanced NPC Level Cap mod, all I have to do is remember to install these and I'm good to go. Alright guys, hopefully that was pretty easy to follow along with. If you had any troubles getting this mod set up, or if you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. I'm pretty good at getting back to people in the comments. And with that out of the way, guys, as always, happy modding and happy Mondays. Alright guys, we are back in the game, and real quick I just want to show you guys a pretty cool mod called Hooded Outlaws. It's just a nice little thing that adds hoods to the bandits of the game. And it's not going to affect every bandit, but it is going to give them a least chance. You can see here, no hood, and over here, this guy has a hood. And that just adds a little air of menace to the bandits of the world. Pretty cool, pretty nice mod. I think that is 100% a mod that's going to show up on my load order over and over again. I think Hooded Bandits across the land is pretty cool, and I think there's a couple of optional files that are also pretty neat with this mod. So, let's dive into it. Installation, guys. Alright guys, we are on the Hooded Outlaws mod page on Nexus Mods. As always, I'm going to leave a link in the description down below so you guys can follow along with everything that I'm doing. And also don't forget, if you like the mod, go ahead and endorse it. That just lets the mod author know that you like the mod and hopefully gets the mod trending, so there's a chance it can show up on the Nexus homepage. Alright, with that out of the way, let's dive into installation. So we'll check out requirements here, and as you can see, there are no requirements for this mod, but several mods are going to require this mod. A lot of these are going to be patches, as you can see, and that's about all I've got there. There are manual instructions here, but I'm not going to go through this because this is a little bit tedious. Instead, I'm going to stick with my normal go-to method and just have Vortex do all of this for me. So we're going to do the Mod Manager download option, do a slow download. And if you take a look here in Vortex, Hooded Outlaws is right there, installed and enabled. And that is pretty much it, guys. It is totally done and installed. There's no extra steps here. But if you noticed in the files, there's a couple of optional things here. So this first optional is basically a patch. If you have the mod Balanced NPC Level Cap, you're going to need this patch in order to make it compatible with that mod as well. So this is only if you also have that mod installed. I don't currently, so I'm not going to do that right now. But just keep in mind, if you do, you're also going to need this. It's as simple as a mod manager download, just like the regular mod itself. But then we have this other optional mod here, which adds a chance for a hood to show up on conjurers and necromancers. And I do really like that optional download, so I'm going to go ahead and do it now. That optional file is not standalone. It is going to require the main file, so just keep that in mind. You can't download just this, at least for now. We'll see if there's any plans in the future. Just keep an eye out for this mod. It may happen, it may not. No guarantees. I am not the mod author, and I'm not going to speak on their behalf. But this is a nice little add-on that adds to conjurers and necromancers to give them hoods as well. And as you can see, it's right here under Hooded Outlaws. Nice and done, already installed and enabled. And that is it, guys. Not much else to this. If you need any help with anything, if for some reason this isn't working or you seem to be having some compatibility issues with other mods, just let me know in the comments down below and I'll try to help you debug it as best as I can. I am going to be doing that remotely, not on your system, so it is a bit harder on my end, but I'll give it my best shot. And who knows, maybe somebody else watching this video will see your comment down below and help you out. Alright guys, as always, happy modding and happy Mondays. Alright guys, we have successfully busted into our favorite merchant's store inside the Imperial City Market District. And we're gonna steal a bunch of their armor because they are rude. We don't like them. We're gonna get on out of here and hopefully find somebody who will buy all of our stolen goods. Keep in mind, I am not in the Thieves Guild. Not at all. So where could we possibly go? Well, if we check the map here, notice there's a new map marker here. Shady Sam. Because I have a mod installed called Shady Sam Buys Stolen Goods. And it comes in two versions. One of them has a map marker to teleport you right to him, and the other version does not include that.
Psst.
If you guys
Hey,
don't know who Shady Sam
you.
is,
Come here. I got what you need.
you can see that he is a shady individual.
You need something special? Check out my wares. You won't find this stuff at your local general store, that's for damn sure.
Right. He
Can I
is
interest
a
you in some
bit
of my wares?
a skooma dealer, as well as poisons, lockpicks. He is a great resource for lockpicks, and he has pretty decent gold cap, at least for me right now. I think in the base game it's a 400, but I've got a mod that multiplies merchants. Inventory by 10. So let's see. And would you look at that? I have stolen goods.
You got a great
Contraband
deal
to
there.
sell.
That seems a fair. You've made
As
a
it
good.
were.
That's
Guys,
more than I'd use.
this
You drive
is
up.
super convenient and makes total sense. This guy has a pretty bad reputation, and
Pleasure
I'm
to serve
glad
you.
to put it to work if I'm up to no good in stealing stuff.
Come see me anytime, friend. I'm here day
So-
or night.
Yep, that is basically what this mod does. And again, I just want to point out it has two versions. This version has a little map marker location pointing you right to Shady Sam that you can teleport to right out the gate immediately. The other version just doesn't include this but does the same functionality. Pretty awesome mod, very, very much makes sense, very immersive. I think this is going to be one of those mods that just sits in my load order forever.
Hey, you.
I'm going to forget that this was
you.
even a mod,
Come here. I got what you need.
and I'm going to start believing Shady Sam always sold stolen goods, or bought stolen goods from me. Right, let's dive into installation, guys. Alright guys, we are on the Shady Sam Buys Stolen Goods and More mod page on the Nexus Mods website. As always, I'm going to go ahead and leave a link in the description down below so you guys can follow along with everything that I'm doing. And if you like the mod, please don't forget to endorse it. That is basically the like button of Nexus Mods. Lets the mod author know that you like the mod and gets it trending, so it might show up on the front page of Nexus Mods website. Alright, with that out of the way, let's get into installation. As you can see, there's a requirements tab here, but fortunately, there are no dependencies for this mod to work. You just install it and go. And there is one mod that requires it, but it is a patch. So if you have Bant's Bazaar of Bountiful Patches, you know a bit more about that and you're already using it, go ahead and go there and you'll see what compatibility options there are. Okay, with that all out of the way, let's get into actual installation. You can see here there is a manual installation instructions here. It's really a two-step thing. Download, unzip, place the files here in this folder location, and update the plugins.txt. I'm not going to get into all that because I don't think that's the best way to go about installing your mods. I think Vortex handles things like updating of mods much, much better. So we are in the Files tab here, and you can see there are two options here. There's the main file and then the optional file. One thing to note, this is a either or type of situation. If you do want the map marker, go for this version of the mod. If you do not want the map marker, just go with this mod. So I'm going to go here and do the mod manager download, do a slow download. I think I don't want the map marker. And you can see Vortex went ahead and got it installed and enabled. And that's all there is to it, guys. Very straightforward, very simple. Hopefully you guys were able to follow along with everything that I did and you found a new mod that belongs permanently in your load order, as I have found. Alright guys, with all that out of the way, as always, happy modding and happy Mondays. Alright guys, we are checking out the mod Gold into Septims, the magic loader version. We are on that page right now in Nexus Mods, and as always, I'm going to leave a link in the description down below so you guys can follow along with everything that I'm doing here. I real quick want to go over what this mod does. and why I think it's a mod everybody should probably be using just because it's really nice. You absolutely may think that this is a pretty unimportant mod, maybe, but for immersion's sake, this is one of those mods that I think is a must-have to keep immersion going. In Tamriel, the citizens of Tamriel would not be referring to gold coins as gold, they would be calling them septims. And this mod changes all references in your inventory and elsewhere in writing into septims. Pretty simple, pretty easy, pretty good stuff. That's it. That's all there is. I didn't feel like this kind of mod needed a proper in-game demo because it's very straightforward, very simple what it does, very easy to explain just by talking about it. I think this has a screenshot here. Invest 500 septims in this shop. So it's going to show up in your inventory as septims instead of gold, and also in text all over the game. So just keep that all in mind. I think this is a great lore-friendly and lore-accurate mod that helps with the immersion and really kind of gives you that I'm in a different world vibe that you otherwise wouldn't if you're looking at gold all the time. Everywhere uses gold. This is the only type of game that has septims. Alright, so let's dive into installation, guys. So we have a requirement for Magic Loader here. And I do real quick want to note something about Magic Loader. There was another mod that did something very similar to this that was called Gold to Septims. It's still available on Nexus Mods, but I am not going to be covering that mod, I don't think, in the future, because it is completely incompatible with Magic Loader for whatever reason. I don't know what that reason is, but if you have Gold to Septims installed, not Gold into Septims, mind you, not this one, but the other version, just Gold to Septims, for whatever reason, when running Magic Loader, it will not work, and you'll still see all those weird missing string value text all over the place. So just keep that in mind. That is why I am showcasing this version, the Gold into Septims Magic Loader version. This mod is the correct mod to use if you have Magic Loader, and it requires Magic Loader. Go figure. Okay, so back to installation here. There's a very detailed manual installation step-by-step guide here. Should be pretty simple, and it's already split up between both Steam and Game Pass, so I know a lot of people watching this are going to be Game Pass players, and I know a lot of mods don't cover Game Pass whatsoever. They stick with Steam all the way. I do think the Steam version is going to be much better for modding, just for that reason, but I'm sure a lot of people with Game Pass are going to be happy to see there's a Game Pass installation step guide here. Okay. With that bit out of the way, I'm going to install this the way that I always do, with Vortex. So we're going to go here to Files, and we're going to go to the Mod Manager download, do a slow download, and we should see this pop up right here. Gold into Septims is the right mod, and as you can see, I have the Gold to Septims mod installed. I do like this mod, but unfortunately its incompatibility with Magic Loader is keeping me from getting it installed and enabled all the time. I'm actually going to go ahead and remove this mod just for the fact that Magic Loader doesn't work with it. It's very sad. I don't like talking about that kind of thing, but I do want to spread the knowledge out far and wide. That mod is going to break Magic Loader, so don't have it installed if you're doing anything that requires Magic Loader. Okay, with all of that out of the way, guys, the only final step for this gold into Septims is the Magic Loader. You have to run Magic Loader. If you don't have Magic Loader installed and none of this is really making any sense to you, I have a video covering how to install Magic Loader. You will need it installed and you will need to run it once you have this mod installed. And I have a video covering that, and I'm going to leave a link in the description down below. Please follow that along and make sure you have Magic Loader installed. Make sure you follow my step-by-step guide on that. And then, for convenience sake, I also have a video covering Magic Loader Loader. And essentially what that mod does, rather than the need to run this tool every time you have a mod that requires Magic Loader, it just runs Magic Loader every time you run the game as an extra step to launch, which is phenomenal and eases up an extra step every time you switch profiles or update a mod or anything like that. Instead, you just run the game and Magic Loader runs in the background seamlessly. Both of those, Magic Loader and Magic Loader Loader, are fantastic, and I think this gold into Septims mod is an absolute must-have for the diehards that love the lore of Tamriel and the Elder Scrolls in general. I think this is going to be a permanent fix on my load order. Now, one last tiny thing I want to talk about, guys. Please do not forget, if you like the mod, come back to the mod page and endorse it. Now, there is a timer for endorsing mods. You can't endorse a mod until you've had it installed for 15 minutes, which kind of makes some sense. You can't just blam, download it, and then say you love it. They want you to download and test and make sure everything works and all that. But don't forget, if you like the mod, endorse it. It's basically the like button of Nexus Mods. Alright, with all that out of the way, guys, as always, happy modding and happy Mondays. Hey guys, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And thanks for watching Modding Mondays, the series. I am trying to get these videos spread as far and wide as possible so we can get as many people as possible modding this game and not being afraid to try to get their local system set up. I am going to need your help in doing this though, so please, please, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share this video as much as possible so we can get more people modding this amazing game. Thank you so much, guys, and I will see you next time.